So let me start with a question. When was the last time you sold somebody something? Now, most of us flinch a little at that word, sell. We picture the pushy guy, the script, the corner you get backed into at the car lot. So today, when I say every one of us in this room is in sales all day, every day, I want you to stay with me past the flinch, because here's the theory I want to build today. Persuasion is just the work of helping another person see what you already see. That's all it is. Now, there's a bad kind, the kind that pushes and tricks and leans on position, and none of us needs that kind of persuasion. But there's another kind, and the other kind is one of the most human things you'll ever do. So let's start with the claim that you're already in sales, and let me make it real. The teacher is selling a 9-year-old on the idea that reading will crack the whole world open for her. The doctor is selling a patient on a plan that gives him his life back. The nurse is selling a frightened person on trusting the next 10 minutes. The engineer in the meeting is selling a better way to build the thing. The manager is selling her team on a process that'll make the work cleaner. The parent is selling a teenager on being home by curfew. The volunteer, the pastor, the friend who talks you off a bad decision at midnight, all of them are selling. And notice what none of them are doing. None of them are getting a percentage. There's no commission on the back end. They're not closing you so they get paid. They're selling an idea, a way of doing things, a process, a reason to show up and be happy and fulfilled instead of checked out and going through the motions. Now, we persuade because we believe something's good, and we want the person in front of us to have that good thing too. That's the whole engine. So the question really was never whether you're in sales. You are. The real question is how. And when you actually look at it, there are only a few ways to move another human being. You can move them by force, do it because you have to. You can move them by trickery, get them to agree before they realize what they agreed to. Or you can move them by hierarchy. Do it because I'm the boss. Do it because I'm the doctor. Do it because I said so. And every one of those works for a minute. But here's what they cost you. The person complies, but they never believe. They go along, but nothing moved on the inside. And the second you leave the room, the belief leaves with you because it was never theirs to begin with. You didn't persuade them, you pressured them, and pressure has a shelf life. Now, there's one more way, and it's a human way. It's human connection. And it's the only way that actually holds because it's the only one where the belief ends up belonging to them. Now, let me give you the principle underneath that because it changes how you do everything. People don't decide with logic. They decide with emotion. And then they reach for logic afterward to explain the decision their heart has already made. Think about your own biggest decisions, the house, the job, the person you married. You can give me the reasons now, the spreadsheet, the pros and cons, but you and I both know the reasons came after. The heart went first, and the head built the case after. So if you want to actually move someone, you don't open with your argument, the logic. You open with them, the heart. And there's a way to do that. It's the same model we've been building toward in all of this work that you're doing in becoming a great person from a communication standpoint, the connected consultation. And that's right inside our complete communicator framework. It's the 12th element. And let me walk you through it because this is how you persuade through connection instead of force. The first move, there's 4. The first move is emotional connection. And this is exactly what you've been building the instrument for, your voice. Before you said a single fact, the person across from you is already reading your sound underneath your words through your prosody. And they're asking one quiet question of themselves. Is this real? Is this person worth my attention? When what you feel on the inside actually moves through your voice, the vessel of your identity, they feel you before they ever agree with you. And see, this is not a thing about performance. It's not turning up the volume on your feelings or acting out or over-emoting, none of that, because nobody trusts that. It's the subtle thing that happens in the sounds you make when a trained vocal instrument carries your identity, what's on the inside, to the outside world. And you felt the difference. Someone says the exact right words and nothing moves. Someone else says something ordinary and everyone leans in. The difference was never the words, it was whether the voice was carrying a real person. So that's the first one, emotional connection. The second move is clarity. And the shape of clarity is context, feature, benefit in that order. You see, most people get it backwards. They lead with the feature. Here's what it has. Here's what it does. And you leave the listener sitting there thinking, okay, but why are you telling me this? But if you give them the context first, then something changes. Here's what you told me you wanted. Then the feature. Then the benefit tied straight back to their life. That changes everything. I'll give you the version I use with people all the time. A chiropractor can say, you're hurting. I'll fix your subluxation. That's context and feature. And nobody buys that because nobody lies awake at night worried about their subluxation. But add the human benefit and you'll be able to play tennis again. You'll get up in the morning without that dread. You won't end up stuck in a chair in 10 years. Well, it's the same finding, but a completely different sentence, and all of a sudden it lands. The benefit is in their life, in their own words, and so they connect with you. So that's the second move. The third move is the one that separates us from everything else. You let them build their own connection through human stories because data informs, but stories connect. So you don't hand someone your conclusion. You tell a human thing and you let them walk into the meaning themselves. I'll show you how powerful this is because it's a small move that changes everything in your conversation. Say I'm working with someone and I already know they've had a problem for 10 years. I can say to them, you've been dealing with this for 10 years. And that's true, and it lands, sort of. It lands from the outside in. Or I can ask, how long has this been going on? And they think about it, and they say, well, it started when my youngest was 3, so that's 10 years it's been going on. Same fact, 10 years. But now they told me. They said it out loud in their own voice, and it landed from the inside out. And those two things are not the same. When the words are theirs, they're wired in. So that night when they're lying in bed, they're not trying to remember what I told them. They're hearing their own voice, saying their own words back to themselves. And that's the difference between informing someone and helping move them. So that's the third move. And the fourth one, the fourth move, it's the part the pushy sail always skips. You let the listener put their own logic on top of the emotion with their own mind and let them agree or disagree. So you connected. You were clear. You let them feel it and say it in their own words, and now you hand it back to them. You let them think. You let them weigh it, and here's the part that matters most, the part I really want you to actually trust. You leave them completely free to say no. The no is not the enemy. The opportunity to say no is the thing that makes the whole conversation honest. And the no comes in a few flavors, so you might do well to understand them. It might be no for now. It might be no because of X, Y, or Z, the money, the timing, the season of life they're in, whatever it is. It might be no, never, this just isn't for me. And all three are fine. For instance, when somebody says to me that money's the issue, I'll say, well, money aside, is this something you'd even want to solve? Because if the answer there is no, then no price would ever fix it. And if the answer is yes, well, now we can have a real conversation, and it's just a logistical problem that we can work on together. So no isn't a failure of your persuasion. A real no is proof that you did it right, because it means the person was free the whole way through, and a free yes is the only yes worth having. The free no keeps the door open, and they walk back through it later more times than you might believe. But the forced yes, it slams the door because the person feels somewhere in their body that they got handled. Nobody wants that. Now, I do this on every discovery call I take. I don't try to close anyone. I invite them to solve their problem. And the honest truth is, three kinds of people sit across from me every day. Some are going to say yes almost no matter what I do. And so my only job there is to get out of their way and not talk them out of it. Let them say yes. I had a woman last month I was talking to, and 10 minutes in, she was ready. So I just stopped and just got her started. Now, some are going to say no, no matter what I do, because the circumstance of their life won't allow it right now. And my job there is to be kind and leave the door open, and that's okay. And then there's the middle group of people, the people who genuinely haven't decided exactly where they're at yet. And they don't get moved by a better pitch. They get moved by a conversation that helps them feel, in their own words, what staying the same is costing them and what getting better would actually mean for them. So that's a little example about me. So let me bring it now all the way back to where we started, into why we do the instrument work, our vocal mastery work in the first place. You are in sales. You've been in sales your whole life, and you will be tomorrow, the next day, and the next day in every room you walk into. And the only question is whether you move people by pushing on them or by connecting with them. And the reason you're here is so that you can build your voice, the breadth, the range, the freedom, not so you can perform at people and not so you can win by pressure, but you're building your voice so that what's true in you can reach the person in front of you without interference. So they can feel what's on your heart and hear you clearly, and then decide of their own free will, with their whole mind and their whole heart, whether to go along with and walk through whatever door you're sharing with them. See, this is not the bad kind of sales. There's no tricks in it. There's no pushing. It's just connection. Doing the thing connection was always meant to do. And when you persuade in this way, everybody in the conversation gets what they came for. And that makes you a powerful salesperson. Now, I've taken everything I just walked you through and put it in a short document. It's a new piece. It's called Trust-Based Persuasion. And it sits right alongside the connected consultation work that we do in the Complete Communicator framework. It's the whole model on one page, the 4 moves and the free no, so you can keep it next to you and actually put it to work starting right now, starting this week. And here's the thing. I'm recording this today, and I'm going to share it. So if you're watching this at a later time and you'd like that document I mentioned, here's how to do it. Go to prvocalcoaching.com, click contact at the top, and you'll land on a page that says, let's talk. Just drop the message in there, Trust-Based Persuasion, and I'll send it right to you. That's it. Just the next step if this landed for you and you're watching later. Now, if you're in the room today, don't worry about doing that. You're going to get this document right after we're done. So you don't have to do anything. All right. So that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope to hear from you. Bye for now.